What up? Oh, it's Garage Gym Homie. Today, I'm talking about gains and sex. I'm talking about giving up porn. Talking about all sorts of stuff, man. Is it worth it? Before I get into this here, please click the subscribe button. I got content coming out every day for you now. So click subscribe and let's get into this, man. So this is what I want to talk about, man. I'm here. I always am made a point of being super transparent on my channel and putting myself out there, and I just find it important. You know, if this channel is gonna provide what I intended from the start, which is to help people be healthier. And that doesn't just mean with bodybuilding. That means spiritually, mentally, all sorts of stuff. We're going to talk about bodybuilding too in this video. But, you know, then I got to be 110% real with you fine folks, man. So I want to talk about, just to bring it back here, before I even, a lot of you know I moved to California when I was, you know, I stayed out there over 7 years in LA, and I was out of control. But before I moved out there, man, I was promiscuous. I was promiscuous when I moved out there too, but I was a man whore, man. I was out of my mind. I mean, I just thought that part of being cool means sleeping with as many women as possible, mistreating as many women as possible, playing women, getting over on them, you know, hurting them, that whole thing. And looking back, I mean, obviously, that's not the person I am today. And, you know, I went out to LA, and I came out there, and I got in the porn industry for years out there. I ended up dating one of the biggest porn celebrities in the industry, and for 2 years, man, I lived with her, and that's when I got introduced to crystal meth, and it was a very alternative lifestyle that I lived. It was out of control, man. And a lot of that crazy sexual methed out lifestyle led to a lot of trauma, man. It was traumatic for me. And it led to a lot of really screwed up things for my future relationships. The things that I had fantasized about, the things that had blocked me from opening up my heart in the future. Just a lot of craziness came from that. And I lived such an insanely stimulating sexual lifestyle, just revolving around porn, running around with hookers, strippers, spending time in just very dark places, man. I spent a big part of my life in a lot of darkness. And a lot of people, it was a lot of ego then, you know, thinking that people back home knew that I was dating this chick. And they're like, man, Ari's the man. You know who's out there in LA dating? It was all ego, man. It wasn't really, it was superficial. And, you know, the whole time I was out there, I strived to be Mr. Cool Guy. That was like my whole goal in life before getting sober, was to be Mr. Cool Guy. Because I lived my life terrified, man. Terrified. The furthest away from who I really was deep down. So, you know, I came home from LA, and the way I used to talk about women was like calling them the B word, hoes, this, that. I'd be disrespectful. I talk about other women too. Now I try, you know, I attempt not to gossip. I mean, I fall short all the time, but I don't really even use any of those words, you know, as far as referring to anybody directly. I mean, I don't talk like that about people, because I just think a big part of what you get back in the world is what comes out of your mouth. So what comes out of your mouth is what you get back, man. If everyone's a bitch or bastard, excuse my language, but that's what you get back to you, man. That's what you get back to you. So the way I treated women was disgusting, man. So when I came home from LA, I went through the 12 steps of AA. And when it became time to do the fourth step, which is where I write down all my history with my anger and my part in everything, and I write down my whole sexual inventory. I write down all the people I've slept with, which the list was insane. I mean, everyone I could remember, and just all my past with women and the way I mistreated them. And when it came time to reading that to my AA sponsor, he said to me, he said, "You know what, Ari?" He said, "I don't need to hear that." I said, "What do you mean you don't need to hear that?" He goes, "You know how you treated women in the past." He said, "Now you have a relationship with God. I know you do, you know, through AA and the spiritual life that I was living and how I recovered from addiction." He said, "Now it's up to you to make a contract with God that you're not going to treat women like that anymore." I was like, wow, that's really deep. So I went to God. I made a contract with God that I looked at the way I treated women in the past through all the porn, pimp, and all the disgusting behavior that I did. And I said, I went to God. I said, I'm making a contract. I will never treat women like that again. Now, to be honest with you, I've fallen short in sobriety. Since I've been sober, I've fallen short. I've mistreated women, the whole internet Tinder swiping, dating thing, talking to multiple. I've mistreated women in sobriety. I've taken up time in their lives, stringing them along. I've done things that I wouldn't go back and do today, but I've had to grow from that being sober. So I never, even after getting out of LA, when I came home, I continued to watch porn. And I haven't watched porn now for probably 3 years, I'd say. I'm going to tell you how that happened. And I would continue to be with women, and I would fantasize about my past life, like fantasize about getting high and having sex, because meth was such a strong sexual stimulant that it was like PTSD, man. I think that I do have, I mean, I'm not a doctor, I'm not going to diagnose myself, but I think I have PTSD with a lot of the relationship stuff, you know, being with women who are sleeping with other guys, getting paid to sleep with other guys, that whole thing. It created a lot of trauma for me in my head, and I've had to work through that. I'm going to tell you how I worked through that. So, you know, I made a decision one day that I was sick of fantasizing about these really dark, negative things and living in my head from the past. It wasn't what a sober person would live like, you know, like watching porn for me. Now, I can't speak, my ego's got to be in check, so I can't say, because I gave up porn, everybody needs to give up porn. I'm a true believer, deep, deep down in my heart, that the porn industry is extremely toxic. For me, it's even more toxic, because I'd watch it and see these people I knew constantly, and every time I'd open a website, oh, I know that person, I know, and it brought me back. For me, it was extremely toxic. But I don't think porn's good for anybody. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm sitting here, I think, oh, because I gave up porn, everybody needs to give up porn. It's not like that. But it was one of the best decisions I've ever made, man. So I was having a hard time, you know, with these fantasies and the thoughts in my head, you know, from the past, the PTSD, the relationship stuff. And I started going to God, man. It's always God number one. I prayed every day, man. God, please give me a healthy sexual mindset. I feel like my mindset is not sexually healthy. I kept it in my prayers literally daily. Please give me a healthy sexual mindset. For months. And one day, after all that praying, God came through for me, man. He gave me the willingness, and one day I said, I'm deleting all the links of porn that I have, deleting all the freaking, any saved movies on my thing. Yeah, I had saved movies. Yeah, it wasn't just internet stuff. And I said, I will never watch porn again, man. And I've never looked back, man, in 3 years. And I know in my heart, I'm going to go the rest of my life and I'm never going to indulge in porn. I know it to the deepest part of myself because I have no interest anymore. Not even a thought, man. It's like I detoxed off it. It's like I got out of me and I feel so much better. And I continued praying after that. Because I was still masturbating, man. I was still masturbating. And something would happen, man, when I found something would happen when I would jerk off. If you're in my family or something and you're seeing this, I apologize, man. I apologize. But this is really, I find this really a helpful story for people, you know, so sorry, what can I say? I'm not really freaking sorry, man. You shouldn't be watching this if you're in my family. End of freaking story. I would find that the next day that I would jerk off, I would have the worst brain fog ever. I felt tired, drained, not myself, didn't feel like training. And I'm a drug addict, recovered drug addict, so something about me, I think I'm very much in tune with my body in ways that maybe other people aren't. I'm extremely sensitive when it comes to certain things. I would notice this extreme brain fog from jerking off that sex didn't cause me. Jerking off did. I'm not sure what it was, but I went on the internet and I Googled masturbation brain fog or ejaculation brain fog or this jerking off brain. Dude, there was like communities of people who had the exact same thing as me, who connected on the internet, who were like, brain fog the whole next day from jerking off. Does anyone else get brain fog? And I'm like, I knew I wasn't freaking nuts, man. I knew that I wasn't nuts. So just so you know, now it's since December 10th, 2020 was the last time I freaking masturbated. So it's been almost 10 months. I would just notice that. I would go like a week, and then I would do it, and I would notice this extreme brain fog. And maybe I was looking for it, and this lack of drive, and this lack of sharpness. And I continue praying, man, give me a healthy sexual mindset. I said, I'm freaking done jerking off, man. I'm never, ever going back to it. It's been 10 months. It's been over 10 months now. I'm going on a year, and I feel so much freaking better. I mean, I feel so much sharper, so much more driven. Everything that I'm doing feels more productive. I feel like I have this drive to put toward my YouTube channel, helping people. My workouts feel better since I've given up the porn. So this is my progression into my sex life. So it started with making a contract I wouldn't treat women a certain way. It came to making a contract that I wasn't going to watch porn anymore. It hit too close to home for me. Making a contract I wasn't going to jerk off anymore. It was taking away my drive, man. We're men, dude. Don't give up your seed so easily. I feel like when we're jerking off or just like giving in to our lowest inhibitions, it's bad, man. I love practicing restriction in my life. And I noticed, man, a few months after I stopped, I never thought about it, man. I was never like, oh, man, I wish I could go masturbate. I feel all like crazy. I got it. It went away, man. It was like I detoxed off that, and I feel so much more freaking better, man. Each rep is freaking better, man. I feel more aggressive, more like a strong man. I'm telling you, and society wants to tell you things that are wrong, man. They want to tell you that porn is healthy. Healthy couples watch porn together. If you're hearing it, man, science says porn is very healthy for couples to watch. Nonsense, man. It's freaking nonsense. There's nothing healthy about watching a bunch of methed out women on camera and men who come from a bunch of childhood trauma have sex with each other and thinking that's healthy. There's nothing. I know what goes on behind the scenes in porn. I lived it. For years, I lived it. There's nothing healthy about it, man. There's nothing healthy about what they're doing or watching them do it. Healthy couples don't watch porn together. I'm not saying you're an unhealthy couple if you do, but don't believe that society wants weak people, especially weak men. They want to tell you anything they can, our society, to weaken you. And if that means jerking off as many times a day as you can is healthy. Jerk off all you want. It's healthy. It's healthy for sex to jerk off all the time, for your sexual mindset to jerk off. I've heard that. It's healthy to watch porn. It's healthy to sleep with multiple women, and they want to weaken you. They don't want you to be spiritual. They don't want you to practice any restriction, because that creates strong men. And that's a threat to that's a threat to a society full of strong men. So praying was the number one thing that helped me, man. Asking God to give me a healthy sexual mindset. So then my next step was not jerking off. And then I had to look at who I was to the core in sobriety, man. During sobriety, I had to look deep at who I was to the core. Because I had done things like sleeping with multiple women, talking to multiple women, acting like not how a sober, spiritual person should act who's following their heart. And I had to look, man, who am I deep down to the core? That's not really who I am. I'm not really somebody who... Talking to multiple women at once gives me a lot of actually anxiety, man. It's not fun anymore to play those kind of games, hurt people. So I had to grow from all this, man. Sobriety's been about everything, really, except sobriety's been really nothing about not getting high to me. It's been about everything else that I'm growing from. Stopping swearing to making a decision. I'm not going to watch bootleg movies anymore because I'd rather pay the $7 on my TV or $10 to rent a movie than watch it on some shady website just because it's free. Because it doesn't make my soul feel good, man. That's what sobriety's been about to me. It's about growing and becoming a better person, living on the right side of the line. So the point of this video, man, is any of you who aren't practicing any kind of restriction, and I don't believe that jerking off lowers your testosterone. I've had to look into that. I used to try and Google information. Does jerking off lower testosterone? Does ejaculation lower testosterone? Because I'm looking at ways I'm killing my gains. I don't think it. I think the science, whatever that means these days, has shown that it doesn't really affect testosterone so much. That doesn't mean that it doesn't affect your drive. My drive, your drive, I don't care who you are. When you're just giving up your man stuff like that all the time, and you're not holding it for either special occasions, for someone you love, for the right motives and purposes, you're just freely, I'm just going to jerk it and watch porn and live like a slob, eat whatever I want, indulge in anything at any time. That's what society wants you to do. It's not good for your gains, man. If you want to make... Bodybuilding's about restriction, man. If you want spiritual restriction, food restriction, sleep, depriving yourself... Not depriving, but restricting yourself, I mean, of, I'm not going to drink alcohol at any given time. Bodybuilding's about living a very disciplined lifestyle. And that doesn't mean that life's about suffering, man. The point is actually to make life better. And only through the power of God can such a undisciplined alcoholic who used to sleep all day, watch porn all day, be around hookers and this and live such a disgusting lifestyle turn into the person that I am today. Only through the power of God can that happen, man. You can't look at my life at where it was before and look at my life now and at least not consider that God could be real. I mean, you cannot look at the person I was before and look at me now and think, man, there's got to be something bigger out there if that person can change to someone who couldn't go a few hours without getting high on drugs to someone who hasn't even thought about drugs in close to 8 years, man. 8 years. And now, I mean, I'm always trying to be growing. So look at your life, man. And the point of this is, who are you to the core, man? How are you, how do you treat people? How do you treat the opposite sex? And, are you just indulging in any little thing that's right in front of you because that's the easy way? Or are you trying to get to the next spiritual level? Because the only way to get to the next level spiritually is to practice some restriction. That doesn't mean you can never indulge. I mean, I'm never watching porn or jerking off again. But I eat cookies and ice cream, man. That's my thing. I eat cookies. I use high-stim pre-workouts, man. I indulge in that. Not every day. Saturdays and Sundays, man. I use some kick butt pre-workouts, man. It's more for my head than my muscle, of course. Sometimes it's okay to do things for your head, but only between you and God if that's okay. It always comes down to, is this okay between me and God? Because between me and God, watching porn for me isn't okay, man. Jerking off isn't okay. Having sex with multiple women is not okay. Stringing someone along in a relationship that I don't really want to be in because I'm scared of breaking up with them, I've done that, is not okay. Eating ice cream and cookies 2 times a week, that's okay, man. Even though I think Hollywood's toxic and it's freaking horrible for our youth and for our heads, it's a lot of mind control. For me to sit back and relax and watch a show or a movie once in a while is okay. A little balance is okay, man. So look at your life, man. Who are you to the core? And are you acting the way you really feel you're supposed to be acting to the core? Who are you? Look at the deepest part of yourself and say, am I acting the way that I'm supposed to be acting, like deep down to the core? Is that me really, the way I'm acting right now? Or is that my head, man? Is that my heart or my head? Because the longest journey we're ever going to take is about this far, man. Getting out of here and getting into here. And that's the key right there, man. So I hope that some of you can either relate with me or hopefully you're feeling this video, man. So this is the kind of stuff I like to make. And that's what I got for you, man. That's what I got. So God bless you, man. Together, let's get this dang muscle, man. I hope you're all feeling sharp, practicing some restriction, man, treating people the right way, and following your heart, man. Happy High Stim Saturday. God bless all of you. I freaking love you guys, man. Please give me your honest thoughts about this. I'm out.